We're on page 132. Okay. Anyway. Now, you have a salt shaker. The salt's in here. Come out. Okay. So, what would be the issue with the salt shaker? What are we concerned about? So it's a strainer. It is. So could we use? Well, let's put it this way. Why could we use a salt shaker on Shabbos?
What would be the to add flavor to our food?
Excuse me?
To add flavor to our food.
Oh, because it's like
Yes.
straining?
Okay, that's math questions. That's called straining.
Oh, no.
Is it? So what it's doing is it's spreading out. Instead of taking the salt and taking it with my fingers and spreading it out, this is just making it convenient that I can spread out the salt evenly to the places that I want. So it's not straining, it's rather putting it out. The same would also be if you have confectionery sugar or sugar, and you want to do the same with the sugar, put it into a utensil that has a strainer to the end, and you're just again. Now, however, so we could use this.
We can't put can or can.
We could, which we may do it because it's our purpose is not to strain, but rather to spread it out.
And if I add the rice inside?
So let's go one very good question.
Rice.
The question is that some people in this summer put in rice in order to absorb the moisture. It shouldn't cake and become a solid salt shaker. In this case, we don't want the rice on our food. So we are using this now as a strainer. So we're going to take that, if it's the salt with the rice in the salt shaker, we should not use it on Shabbos. It's a weekday, but not for Shabbat. What happens if in our salt shaker in the summer, I did not put any rice, but however, in this salt shaker, there is some lumps of salt. And what the strainer on top is going to do is I'm going to be getting the small pieces and the large pieces are going to be left behind. Is that an issue? Why not?
With the same.
It's the same, all salt. When we said last week that when it comes to the same sort, bigger and smaller is not called borer, is not called sorting. We gave the example, small apples and large apples. Small pieces of fish and large pieces of fish of the same kind of filter fish. Larger and smaller does not go into this category of borer. And therefore, we have larger pieces of salt and smaller pieces of salt, and we're going to be separating the two. That is acceptable. That is fine. Now, we have in our sinks, most of the sinks in the kitchen has, at the end of the faucet, it has a strainer. Do we have to remove the strainer before Shabbos? Or could we use our faucet as is with the strainer? I was going to bring in a strainer. But the faucet, I was going to take it off to, it was a major job. But I wanted to do is open up the strainer, and there are screens, and there's also charcoal. There's all kinds of things inside that strainer. Can I use the strainer on Shabbos to get some water? Yes, no?
Where's the strainer?
On the end of my faucet.
Yeah,
Why?
like the one that's like filtering out minerals and stuff.
Okay, explain to me. Tell me what that means.
What that means is the mineral.
No, why am I allowed to do so?
You can't drink the water without it.
So what you do is what they have, we had girls from South America who told us that they actually have sand coming through their faucet. And therefore, they need that filter to remove the sand from the water. So I asked them, what do you do on Shabbos? So they said that they fill up gallons of water for drinking water in order to be using that on Shabbos, because they cannot use their faucet because there is sand that comes out. So in that case, it is actually a filter that is going to filter out the sand from the water. So why can we use our faucets with a filter on Shabbos? Because
It's built on.
there is no sand in our water.
But it gets like the chunks of the minerals.
Do you actually see the minerals? If you does that faucet have a filter on the end? Does it have this? So do I see any minerals in this water? We took it from this is a New York water. Is there any minerals here?
But there's like a filter built into every sink.
Not that one. Not that one. So the answer is, I do not actually see anything here. But it's filtering out the minerals, and sometimes I would think sometimes the chlorine or the fluoride. But since without the filter, most people would drink this water. And therefore, it's only improving already water that is edible. Improving through a filter is permissible. So you have the Brita.
Oh, I've always wondered if you can fill that up.
You
on
could use
Shabbos.
that up, yes,
You can
because
fill
the
it up on
water,
Shabbos?
yes. Because we're using now the water that's going to be filtered is water that is edible water, drinkable water, and you're just doing it to improve the taste. So therefore, something that is just improving, but not actually taking out any actual visible waste, so that would be acceptable. Unless someone would never, ever drink the water that was not filtered, and therefore to that person, they should prepare the water before Shabbos. But most people would drink either water, and therefore we go according to the majority, and therefore we do not consider that this is removing the waste from the edible, from the good. You have also technically, would you be able to filter? You have now when they have the orange juice, you have two types of orange juice. You have the one that is, you have the one with pulp. Now, why do they have the pulp there? Because people like to drink orange juice with pulp. That's why they bought it. Could we use a strainer to remove the pulp.
No.
Now again, orange juice with pulp is perfectly edible because that's the way they sell it. So why would someone be interested in filtering out the pulp?
So much better that way.
They'd rather have it the other way. Or if you're putting it in a baby bottle, the baby bottle would not be able to have the orange juice with pulp. So we could strain the pulp since it is perfectly edible. You're just improving it. So that could be done. Again, this is all something that you could drink. It's edible, it's fine, it's good, and therefore you could remove that which is extra because that's the way you want to do it. Now, we have our tea bag. Now, this actually works for two purposes. One is to not have the tea leaves scattered all over the place. And once we put it in, it becomes saturated because it's cold water. It's not going to go to the bottom or whatever. Nothing's going to happen with it. But anyway, when I take it out, since it didn't absorb anything, nothing is going to come out. So if it would be warm, it would go to the bottom, it would absorb it, it would die. But with cold water, it doesn't work too well. But anyway, we're getting there. Okay. So what it's doing is also it's filtering out the water and leaving the tea leaves inside. So what would I do on Shabbos? There are different opinions about this. In order to avoid any of the more strict opinions, what are two things I could do?
Leave it in.
Leave it in, or either I drink it with the tea bag left inside, or I could just pour it out and leave the tea leaves in solution together. So I didn't really filter it out. I didn't do anything. It's still the same way as it was. And I'm going to have my tea. Again, now with this tea bag, the tea leaves are uncooked. And therefore, pouring boiling water on the tea leaves is them actually cooking the tea leaves. So what could I do if I want to have? So what some people will do is make tea essence before Shabbos. They will put in, have a teapot, put in the tea leaves, put in boiling water. They will take out the tea bags, and now the water is going to be, it's cooked. But if you're using a tea bag on Shabbos, again, so it would be, you could not use boiling water on it. What could you do? Kli Rishon is the urn, the teapot, the kettle that's on the fire, or the urn that's plugged in. That is Kli Rishon, number one. Pouring it into a cup. This is now removed from the fire. This is number two. Pouring it over into the next one. This should be empty. Is going to be number three. So I'm going to use a Kli Shlishi, where Kli Shlishi, as I'm pouring from one vessel to the other, it's cooling it down. The walls of the vessel are also cooling it down. And therefore, now it's cooled down. According to some authorities and some circles, they will not go by Kli Shlishi, they will go actually how hot it is. If it is that hot, that is not still boiling, if you put your finger in, you're going to take it out right away. That's the definition of boiling. So they will wait until it cools down in order to put something that is uncooked. You don't want to cook it. In our circles, we go with Kli Shlishi, and we just stay with that. But in other circles, they will actually go according to how hot it actually is. So I want to make you aware of that. That's according to the Mishnah Brura. So in other circles, they will not go by Kli Shlishi. They will go according to how hot it is. It cools down considerably. The criteria would be putting your finger inside the liquid, and you would not have to retract it. When we're learning about cooking, I'll try to bring in cooking thermometer. We'll see how hot, what's considered that is Seiledes, Yad Seiledes, that would be the definition if your hand retracts. So we'll see what temperature that is. According to Rabbi Feinstein, it's 104 degrees. According to others, it goes up a little, but anyway, so we'll do that. So
Sorry, can you spell it on the board?
again, what the
Can you spell it on the board? The,
What,
like the going back and forth.
the Klinishin, Klishain,
Yeah.
Klishin? Okay, we'll put that on a little later. So now we have the our tea. So we had one thing is to pour out the water and leave some of the liquid in solution. So I did not make any change. It's exactly as it was before. It's I'm not filtering anything. I'm just and the tea leaves are still in solution together with it. Now, another thing that some will suggest is you take, if you don't want to pour, you just want to have it this hot, you don't want to make it cooler. What you can do is take out with a spoon and have liquid with a spoon. So it's still in solution. Not a good spoon for me, I need a bigger spoon. Here we are. So the water is still in solution. I put it into another vessel. So I haven't changed anything because I took the tea bag with some liquid, so it's still in solution. Then I placed it into another one.
How is that different than taking out what you don't like from an earlier?
Because I still take a solution. The tea is, I want the tea.
But you're taking out the tea bag like a.
Together with solution. I did just like I have now with that lettuce leaf that has a bug on it. I'm going to tear up a piece of leaf. So that's the same principle over here. And the liquid that I took out is perfectly good because I would drink this as well. Now we have the another situation. Okay, I just put a paper aside. Now, what do I do on Shabbos? I want to drink the tea. There's something fell inside, and I want to drink it without the thing that fell inside. What do I do?
Say, probably some liquid.
Okay, what we just did with the tea bag, we're going to do with that. But
Or you can pour it into another.
so here we have now. So there are two things. One is recommended and one is not recommended. Now, the general thing that the example that they give is a bug fell into your tea. When they were speaking about that scenario, people were not very sensitive. They would get rid of the bug and drink the rest. If a bug would fall into your tea, what would you do? In the weekdays, what would you do? Get rid of the bug or throw the whole thing out? Which one? I'll throw the whole thing out. Okay. But we're using it as an example. So therefore, I'm not going to use the bug as an example, but I am going to use, let's say, if you're sitting in the sukkah and the pine leaf fell into your soup, into your tea. Now, with a pine leaf, how does that work? You throw the whole thing out, or you would get rid of in the weekdays, you throw the whole thing out, or get rid of the pine leaf. Get rid of the pine, then drink the rest. Now, since we're speaking about, so now the question is, okay. I got rid of the paper in the weekdays or any time. If I were to then, I'm not finicky, take my paper out. What would I do with this liquid? Huh? Would I drink it?
No.
Anyway, so what is this really? We call it waste. In that case, so I'm taking waste with waste, and this would not be recommended. Because even though I took it with the liquid itself also became waste. And once I took it out of solution, I'm not going to drink this. To me, it is disgusting. And therefore, what is it? Wait, the paper with the waste and the liquid that is together with the waste. So that would not be my solution. If it would be such that after I take the paper out, I would just drink it, then this is good and this is waste. Just like when we're speaking about the lettuce leaf, if I would take a big piece of lettuce leaf, tear it off together with a bug, and then I would tear off another little piece, the rest of the lettuce leaf I would eat. It's only the place where actually the bug is on that I would not eat. As far as this is concerned, again, if I were to throw everything out, then the whole thing is waste. So therefore, it's not recommended to take out with the impurity if you're not going to be drinking the liquid that is behind. So it's not good, it's all waste. So in that case, I would not use this method. So what does the Alter Rebbe suggest? The Alter Rebbe suggests that you pour. So this is not floating. What happens if it's something that floats? So you could keep pouring. So the Alter Rebbe considers what you have. We take what we want and leave what we don't want behind. So therefore, what we're holding in our hand, according to the Alter Rebbe, you know who's the Alter Rebbe? In Shulchan Aruch Harav, he speaks about, in Shulchan Aruch Harav, he speaks about taking out with a spoon with some of the liquid with it. In the Siddur, he says he doesn't like that suggestion, even though in Shulchan Aruch, he did put it in, but he also has, in the Siddur, he has that which he thought would be, so the Shulchan Aruch is written universally, and the Siddur was for Hasidim, if those who want to be more strict. So in the Siddur, he writes that he does not recommend taking the fly out with a spoon, but rather pouring, because what you're holding in your hand is what you want, what you pour is what you don't want. So it'd be like the magician who pulls back and everything stays. So it's like pulling it back, holding in your hand what you want, and the fly just disappears. So he would, like, I don't want to do it that way. But anyway, so what I'm doing is I'm pouring, but I'm keeping out behind. So what I would do, I could blow it to the end if I want to do it this way, because it's still in solution. So I'm not blowing it out. I'm leaving it. I could blow it to the sides, and then I would pour until the thing would disappear. What I don't want.
What about just taking the spoon and holding it to the side?
No, you can't use a utensil for that. No utensil. Okay. So now,
Can I ask you a question? Why would
yes.
just this cup with paper in Shabbos? We can do this.
Can I do what? Can I?
We throw away the whole cup.
Oh, there's no problem. I just want to drink the rest. I said again, with the fly in the soup, the fly in the tea, everyone over here would not go and try to think what we should do with it. We just throw it out. I mean, again, when we're speaking about scenarios, people were very careful about all the things that they did, and they try to save as much as possible with that. So request was made to the three vessels. So this is the one on fire, or this is the one on the fire. This is the first cup. Okay, Klivishin was the one on the fire. Klisheni is the second vessel, which one removed, so it's the first cup. Klishlishi is the second cup, and it's becoming diminished. The heat, which will no longer cook.
Should all these cups be completely
Dry. Yes. So we don't want to cook. Whatever is inside, we don't want to cook. Now, we'll speak about it when it comes to cooking. We want to refill a cup of tea. Take it straight. Do we have to go again through Shlishi? Could we take it directly from the urn that's on the fire, or the urn that's plugged in? So I'll tell you now that if it's still warm to drink, you could just add directly from here. We'll speak about it. Okay.
Is there a difference in the Klishlishi when you put tea after water or before?
It's best to put it after. There's some who say that pouring from the klisheni is the same as the klishlishi itself, but again, it's two opinions, and it's just recommended.
And this like with coffee,
Mhm.
like coffee also after.
Yes.
Which is after
There are
Like
in some circles, yeah, this is not in our circle, in some circles, they will always put they'll put always the coffee in first, and then they will add the water. And the reason is, why will they do that? Because they don't want to color the water.
You put the coffee in first?
Yes, so as you're pouring it in, if you have white water and you put in the coffee and you're coloring the water.
But
If you have the coffee first, you never change the water, you don't visibly change the water. As you're pouring it in, the water is becoming brown as you're pouring. In Chabad, we go according to the opinion that says when it comes to foods, if it's for taste, coloring does not apply. So in that case, you put gravy on something, or coloring it, or the same thing with coffee or tea. So we can do it either way. It's not considered coloring. The same would be you added for taste. You're adding paprika, which makes it red. You're adding cinnamon, which makes it brown. All these things, since it's for taste, or the same thing would be what happens if you are adding ketchup to French fries. So you're coloring the French fries with a red color. Can you have French fries with ketchup? And the answer is yes. We don't go with the coloring does not apply to food if it's there for taste. If it's there for enhancing it, then it becomes a color issue. But for taste, so we go going. So again, I want to tell you what in other circles, they always put in with klishlishi, they'll put the coffee into the cup, then they'll pour the klisheni into the klishlishi, because ilu klisheni is the same as klishlishi. Ilu means the pouring of is the same as the klishlishi already. So in other circles, they will put the coffee in first and then pour in the klisheni into the klishlishi, and then the other opinions are that it makes no difference which way you do it. We're also not concerned about the coloring of the water because it is there for taste. Yes.
so if it's coffee, we need to put the first up and then water. No?
Not necessarily. I said in other circles, not in Chabad. In Chabad, we go either way. We don't consider that we're coloring the water because it's there for taste. It doesn't apply.
But
In other circles, in other words, you'll go to
Yeah.
other places, they will tell you the right way to do it would be put the coffee in first and then pour the water. So I just want to make you aware how in other circles there are different opinions. I try to keep in my class also other opinions as well, just to tell you.
make the sense that if we will put the first water, then something not because of color, like make the water another color, because of when you put water in one cup to another, it's the process of getting water
Cooling,
less-
lowering the temperature.
yeah, so it's much better to put after. No?
Yes, yes, it would be. You lowering the temperature is going to be lower, it's going to be dropping. So we'll speak about this more when it comes to cooking. We'll go into more details here. So some of the, again, to take away the waste from to separate something waste and food, you cannot use special tools. So let's take some of the things that cannot be used on Shabbos. You have some, an apple corer. You know what an apple corer is? It's a sharp, it's a circular tube with sharp edges. And you take the apple and you stab the apple, and it takes out all of the seeds together with it. Using that on Shabbos, your purpose is to remove the seeds. You cannot use the apple corer on Shabbos. Same thing, I think they also have the same thing with the pineapple corer. You have the same thing also, take out the center of the pineapple. Also, that itself cannot be used on Shabbos. To peel the pineapple, so then you would do that right before you're ready to use it. Taking off the shell of something cannot be done unless you're ready to eat it. The using a peeler. So what is a peeler? We consider it a special tool for removing the shell, a peel. So can we use a peeler on Shabbos? So it's not recommended. However, there is a leniency. And I will share the leniency. You'll come to a home, the places that you've gone on Shabbos. Did you see people using peelers on Shabbos? Yes, no, yes, no, so yes.
Yeah, but they would take off some of the apple with it.
Okay, so now, but it's a special, is it considered a special tool or not? So we have as follows. The ones who are lenient about it would be if the peel is edible. If you could eat the peel anyway, for instance, an apple. You could eat the apple with a peel, you could eat the apple without the peel. In that case, the peel is a part of the apple itself. And therefore, they would not consider the peeling of the apple as an act of separating the wanted and unwanted, because it is edible. In that case, they say that you could use a peeler. What about cucumbers? What about cucumbers? People eat the peel of cucumbers or not? At one time, no one ate the peel of cucumbers. You peeled it and you threw it away. Now, they slice the cucumber together with the peel, correct? You have a salad, some people will serve it together. So now the peel of a cucumber became something that is an edible item, and people who do use peelers would use it for the cucumber as well. So
What if you're not to use the peel? If you, I mean, it can be used.
it can be, so it's not recommended. There are those who are more strict about it. But I'm telling you, if you do go to a home and you do see them peeling the cucumbers, it has to be done right before eating, right before the meal, and they use a peeler, and they have a source for that activity. So they're not transgressing. There are those who are going to be more strict about it, not to use a peeler altogether on Shabbos, because it is more of a tool. Is it a knife or is it a tool?
Could you use a knife?
A knife, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Again, this is it's not considered a tool in any way. They're just slicing the.
And the reason you can use it is because, what's the reason?
Which one? The
Peeler.
peeler, because we say that you're not really separating.
Part of it.
It's not a separator because you're not separating anything, because the peel is just edible, the same as the apple, same as the cucumber, and it's just fine.
What about a potato? Using it for potato. I guess you wouldn't cook a potato. So.
Now we come to one more item, and that would be clothes. So now, when it comes to the mixture, even if they are, so we differentiated between an egg in of hard-boiled egg and water, we said, could you take it out? You can take it out, even if you're a Friday night, you're going to be making an egg salad on Shabbos day. Can you take the eggs out of the water where it's in the pot? Could you take it out? What did we say? We spoke about this at an earlier time. Who remembers? Can you take out again? We have now
Yeah.
an egg
you can.
inside the an egg inside the big egg. Could we take it out? The answer would be yes, because
It's not.
it's not considered a mixture. The water and the egg are two different items. However, even though it would be large, let's say in a pot, we have the gefilte fish and the salmon and the whitefish that is sliced. There we said, even though you could see that this is salmon and this is whitefish and this is gefilte fish, it's still, the fact that it's in a pot, it's considered a mixture. You can only take out what you want when you're ready to use it. If you want to separate them, you can take out as random. The pot you want to put in the refrigerator Friday night, you're not going to be using the fish anymore, it's after the meal, and you want to put it in bowls. So you could take out a random, not to take out all the gefilte fish and put it into one bowl and put away, and all the salmon in another bowl to put away. What you could do is take out a random. Whatever comes up, comes up. You're just trying to empty out the pot. Then you're allowed to do it. As long as you're not fishing and trying to get the fish that you want of each category, of each type. So even though the fish is very distinguishable, you can see them, they're big pieces, still we say it's a mixture. So the definition of a mixture is not that it has to be tiny little pieces, but there's some unit that puts them together, and they're different kinds, that's considered a mixture. So we'll have one more, we're going to go in the next lesson, we're going to go into the next category, which is grinding, sifting, grinding. And we're going to one more lesson. We're going to finish off this. And my question would be that also when it comes to clothes that are all piled together, it's considered a mixture. And when you're going to Onyx Shabbos Friday night, and everybody put their coats on the couch, and it's piled up, and you're ready to leave. What do? Do you wait until everybody else takes their coat and then yours is going to be left behind? Or could you take your coats? So therefore, if you can recognize your coats, what do? It's all piled up. What do you do if you recognize your coat? What do? Pull your coat out. Take what you want and leave all the others behind. What happens if you can't recognize your coats? So what do? So when you're ready to leave, you peel. We're peeling now the coats until we get to ours. So just like we're peeling our orange, peeling our lettuce, we're peeling.
As opposed to what else? What would be the not?
Well, you're separating them. We're saying what's permissible to get to your coat because you're going to be.
Well, what way would it not be?
Huh? Well, taking what you want, to taking away what you don't want and leaving what you want behind. Taking away all the coats. You don't want them.
You can't do that.
So we say that since you're trying to get to yours, it would be right when you're ready to leave, you're going to be peeling, and you could do that. So if you see your coat, pull it out. If you don't see your coat, you peel it when you're ready to leave. Okay.
I have two questions.
Yes.
One, this is, I think the answer is no, but like on Shabbos this week, I realized I was doing it, there was a cookie and I was eating the sprinkles that were in it.
You had?
I wanted to eat just the sprinkles that
What?
were in the cookie.
The cookie, yes.
You can't just take out the sprinkles.
Take out what you want when you want it.
Oh, so right?
Yes, you are. You can eat all the sprinkles. Yes. Yes. Enjoy the sprinkles. You can take what you want, leave what you don't want.
And then this is not, I guess we're gonna go over this later, but I kind of need to know because I'm going home for Shabbos this week. Can you open
something for like it was like a plastic forks. Like, can I open the plastic forks if I'm using it, or that's tearing?
So now, generally tearing is not, is not done. If it is an item that you need for Shabbos, so the suggestion is that all packages should be opened up before Shabbos. If one did not, and one does not have any other forks, then you may do so.
Okay.
But do it in a way that the bag will not remain as a storage bag.
Oh, so like completely ruin it?
We don't want to, and be careful also with the letters, not to.
Yeah, not just put the words.
Yeah, but it's interesting. What we don't want to do is create a storage bag.
Oh, okay, that's
So that you could
interesting.
do it that way.
Thank you.
Okay, enjoy your Shabbos.
Thank you.
So where is that?
Arizona.
Arizona. Oh, boy. So have a nice trip.
Thank you.
And,
What are you doing?
okay. So your parents are, but they support you, they let you,
Say what?
they support you as far as letting you do what you would like to do, and how is it?
This is more for, yeah, I kind of.
So you have to show the record, so what happens with parents, they feel that it should be, the parent is the one who feels that they should be directing their child.
Right.
You come and you're going to be telling them what to do.
No, I would never tell them what
I'm
to
just
do.
saying, they feel, they feel threatened or whatever it is, you're looking down at them because they don't do what they're doing and you're doing what you're doing, so you're superior. You have to be very careful with feelings and all of that, so be helpful and, be yourself. And you should say that you're more respect than less respect. Even though you may have, but the fact that you are now following the Torah says, respect your parents, then you're showing them extra respect, and it'll work.
I think
But behind your back, they say, "My daughter goes to special school."
I hope, I wish.
They say that. It'll come to that point where they're going to be proud of you, and they'll be saying, "My daughter."
I hope so.
Okay, it takes time. You have to show them that you are giving them respect. I think that's.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm saying I think that's a key. Key thing, and not to show that you're more religious than they, better than they. It's a very sensitive.
I know.
Okay.
I think half of being Baal Tshuva is learning Shabbos halacha and then figuring out how to do it privately.
Yes.
Rabbi Baras, can you explain why peeling is not taking away what you don't want?
It is.
But you're allowed to do it.
Because ready to eat, there's no other way. You have no alternative. You don't have to eat the peels. Peel is there to keep it fresh. If it's a peel that is not needed for that should be done for Shabbos. You have to peel all the bananas on Friday.
Oh, okay, it's like peeling a banana.
So you want it there as long as possible to keep it fresh.
Okay.
So it's needed here. Therefore, now you are allowed to eat. So it's called the manner of eating, not the manner of selecting. If you're doing it for a later time, then you're perfecting it or improving it. But if you're going to be eating now, so you are giving the.
So it's like it's confusing, like eating sort of.
Thank
Thank you.
You're not going to put bones in your mouth.
You?
Better.
Better?
I'm better. Yeah, a little bit.
A lot of people got sick last week.
Oh.